See me, know me, believe in me. The art of offering reciprocal time, tā, and space, vā. Kia ora koutou katoa. Ki te taha o toku māma. Ko te lao te maunga, ko Utungake te hapu, ko Wolfgramm ko Hemaloto o ko whānau no Tonga ahau. Ki te taha o toku pāpā, ko Felberg te maunga, ko Azen te hapu, ko Dyck ko Kuchta o ko whānau, ko Hamene ahau. Engare, I whānu mai ahau ki Aotearoa I raki pai whenua. E noho ana au ki Maungarei, ko Dagmar Dyck toko ingoa. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. I am a first-generation New Zealander living and working in our largest city, Tamaki Makaurau, Auckland. My mother is German Tongan from Vava'u, and my father is German Polish Dutch. My entire life I have felt my difference. I look different to the dominant culture. My name Dagmar Dyck sounds different. My parents speak different languages. Our family traditions are different. Being different is part of the framework of my identity. In our Sea of Islands, Tongan scholar E Peli Hauofa writes, "Whatever we produce must not be a version of our existing reality, which is largely a creation of imperialism. It must be different and of our own making. We should not forget that human reality is human creation. If we fail to create our own, someone else will do it for us by default." Hauofa believed in an individual's right to be custodians of their own knowledge and identity, so that their realities are not only learned and understood, but also shared. Thank you, Ether, for providing this virtual vā, or space, to offer my personal experiences framed by 3 guiding questions. Question 1. How does being different and add value and meaning to your work? As a Pasifika artist, social justice activist, and art educator, I believe the arts and storytelling are powerful levers for those like myself, where being different are our lived experiences. Arts and storytelling are interlinked in the way that we, as Pacific peoples, create our arts and provide the vā, or spaces, in which we tell them. My difference plays a fundamental role in the way I navigate my world. Throughout my schooling years, I never had a teacher or lecturer who reflected me, nor did I have conversations with teachers about my exact identity, an experience that made me feel culturally invisible. However, through deliberate actions of my art teachers, they recognised the creative capacity in me. They encouraged me to use my art as a platform and vehicle to tell my story. The rest is history. Question 2. How do you leverage the power of storytelling to affirm and value your students? As an art teacher, and as part of our school's localised curriculum, we understand the importance of equipping our students with the skills and confidence to tell their own stories. We do this powerfully through whole school inquiries and through our integrated arts program. I believe we do this so our children can become more aware and strongly connected to the stories about places and people who have gone before them, that our children might imagine or see themselves in those stories, that they build stronger identities through their knowledge and security with their connections and connectedness, so that they can begin to dream up and construct their own stories about who they are and where they are going to end up. We call this visualising. That when they become leaders, professionals, mums and dads, teachers, knowledge holders, guides, storytellers, story writers, and social actors in the future, they might feel a greater sense of connectedness and groundedness in who they are. That ultimately, the chances that those qualities will contribute to a greater awareness, acceptance, and celebration of all our diverse and rich stories is great if we become familiar with them when we are young. From a teacher's perspective, storytelling can be conveyed through conversations and other means of communication, including the visual. Engaging in storytelling provides students with the opportunity to share unique experiences. It is an act of reciprocity, exchange, and negotiation. The teacher's role is one of providing advice without confining the students' visions. The importance of supporting students' voices lies in making room for diversity and awareness. Question 3. What strategies in visual arts education can we use to meet the current inequities within our education system? Firstly, the potential for culturally sustaining pedagogies in visual arts education. The underpinning idea supporting the ethos of culturally sustaining pedagogies is the recognition of social and educational inequality. The call for teachers to be culturally responsive is a popular discourse that regularly appears in attempts to address inequitable outcomes in education for minority groups. New Zealand's education system has generally remained silent on the topic of whiteness, white privilege, and supremacy, and the Eurocentric nature of our schooling policy and practice. Relevant to New Zealand-born Pacific students and families is the acknowledgement of language and culture loss as a result of colonisation. While the disappearance of this cultural capital is evident, visual arts presents the possibility for reimagining schools through approaches that validate Pasifika perspectives. In line with culturally sustaining views, Pasifika's success as Pasifika needs to be understood as a partnership between each school and its Pasifika community. Pushing Pasifika students to fit into the mainstream system is a derogatory approach towards their cultural richness and neglects the intricacies of individual learning needs. The idea of applying strength-based pedagogies to visual arts education in New Zealand situates the student at the centre, an idea that has the potential to support teachers and Pasifika students to maintain, embrace, fortify, and extend the funds of knowledge of students and their communities. Secondly, visual arts offers students safe spaces to express their stories and their voices. Our students' stories, both visual and verbal, reflect their position in the world. Their family backgrounds clearly shape our students' awareness of their place in society, a knowledge that is reflected in their art making and personal imagery. Our students' storytelling articulates authentic narratives that show vulnerability, resilience, and courage. Our students' work provides me with the opportunity of witnessing approaches that embody a sense of voice and social justice through the visual arts learning area. By standing in their truth, our students demonstrate the potential that visual arts education can offer to the wider community as a space of dialogue and social empowerment. For our students, their stories are intertwined with their personal, family, and community worlds. There is no separation between these dimensions of their lives. Our students bring all of these views to the art room, and in doing so, they offer me the opportunity to observe deep connections between their ideas and social justice issues. To conclude, the stories that seem to matter to people ultimately are not perfect or trouble-free. They are filled with drama, failure, morality, symbolism, imperfect people, humble beginnings, loss, redemption, weakness and strength, consequences, courage, bravery, and cowardice. Any quality that we can think of as part of the human experience or condition is in a story. Knowing this allows us full license to be bold and courageous, to stand in our truth and let our stories be seen and heard. Malo apito.